Hi garden scientists! Today's lesson is how to make plant pots out of things you might already have in your house, and there are 4 ways to do that. We have one made out of an egg carton, a toilet paper roll, some newspaper, and an old plastic bottle. Our first way is with an egg carton, and this is super easy because that's all you need. Just fill up an egg carton with soil and you are ready to plant. This is also great because if you want to move your plant to a larger pot or into the dirt, all you have to do is cut apart the egg carton and you can plant the whole thing because it decomposes. To use up some toilet paper rolls you might have lying around, you can either just put a plate or something to block off the bottom, or here's a way to fold up the bottom by just making a couple of cuts. First, you're going to mark 1 inch up from the bottom and then draw a line all the way around to let you know where 1 inch is on all sides of the toilet paper roll. Then you're going to make 4 marks, 2 across from each other and 2 on the other side across from each other, so it makes sort of a T if you were to look at it. And then you are going to cut up from those marks to make 4 flaps that are about the same size, but it's okay if they're not perfect. Then what you're going to do is fold in those flaps, and the idea is to fold them so that one side of the flap is underneath another flap, but one side is on top. Kind of like you would fold to close a box, and you might need a grown-up help for this. Then just fill it with soil and you're all set. Here's how to make a plant pot out of just newspaper. So first, on the shorter end of the newspaper, you're going to measure and cut a piece of newspaper that's 5 inches long. Say 5 inches. And then cut straight across to make a long 5-inch strip. Next, you're going to measure 1 inch from the bottom of that 5-inch wide strip that you just cut and fold up so that you're making a fold that's 1 inch long. Fold that all the way across. Then you'll take your jar and starting from one end, you're going to roll the newspaper with the folded part at the bottom, leaving that 1 inch around, and roll it all the way up around the jar. Try and make it as tight as you can. That will make the plant pot stay together better. Then tuck in the bottom, fold it in like that, and pull it off of the jar. It might be a little hard if you did it really tight, but just go slowly and it should work. Finally, to make it more stable, you're going to fold in the top kind of as high as you want the pot to go, but I would do at least 1 inch and go all the way around. This will help your pot stay up and it will keep it from unfolding itself. Finally, add the soil and you are all set. Here's how to make a self-watering plant pot out of a plastic bottle. You'll need your plastic bottle and the cap. First, what you're going to do is poke a hole through the cap. I used a nail. This is something you might want an adult help because the nail could be pointy and you could poke yourself. Next, you're going to cut the bottle to make your planter. You want it about 2/3 of the way up, so a little bit over half. Scissors might not cut through it, so I'm actually going to use a knife, and this is definitely something you would want a grown-up's help with because it's hard to cut through the plastic and you have to push kind of hard. Once you've cut the bottle apart, the top part should be able to fit into the bottom part, and that's what is going to hold your plants. Next, you'll take a piece of string that's about 2 feet long, and you're going to poke that string through the hole that you made in the bottle cap. This might be a little challenging depending on the size of your string and the size of the hole, so what I did to make it easier was poke it through using a pencil. Next, you're going to poke the other end of your string through the hole, leaving a loop on one side of the bottle cap and the two ends of string on the other side. Once you have both ends on one side, you're just going to tie an easy knot to make sure that they stay in place and won't fall through. The string is going to act like the roots of a plant to suck water up into the part with soil in it. Finally, you're going to fill the bottom half with water, and this is what you're just going to need to check sometimes to make sure that it's still filled with water, that the string is pulling up, but otherwise it's going to be really easy to keep your plant watered. Put the top half of the planter in, resting in the bottom half, and fill it with soil. And then you'll be all done and ready to plant. I've made a bunch of different pots that I'm now going to plant some things in. And the best thing you can do is just follow the instructions that are usually on the back of the package, because then you really can't go wrong. Also, I'm pretty sure that Charlie in room 2 gave these seeds to me, and so thanks, Charlie, for that one. In our egg carton planter, I'm going to plant some watermelon radishes. These are radishes that look like watermelon. How fun! In the toilet paper roll planter, I'm going to try and plant some curly kale. And in our newspaper pot, I'm going to plant some peas. And again, in our water bottle is going to be the sunflowers. Again, the best thing is to look at the directions. It's so helpful. It tells you things like how many days it takes for the plant to come out, how deep to sow it, how far apart to space them if you're doing it in a wide spot, and even it has a picture of what the little seedling will look like when it starts to come up out of the soil. This one also gives me directions that it might be helpful to soak seeds in water. That's usually for bigger seeds before I plant it. So that's what I did. And that just makes the seed coat softer so that the roots are easier to break through. Kind of like when a bird pecks out of its egg. 1 inch deep. 1 inch is about my thumb deep. Put it in, cover it over, and I'm going to write a label so I know which one it is. This is a pea, and I planted it on May 21st. Now I've planted all of these little guys, but everybody's gonna need a quick little drink. So I actually don't have a watering can. I'm just gonna use this jar to give them their first drink. You don't want it to overfill, just do a little bit at a time, and you can see it pools up first, and then it soaks in. You don't want to overdo it or it'll all just come out of the bottom. And it also might drown the seed. And now we have a new little garden started out of things from our house. And I wanted to show you, this is one that I started from a plastic bottle. I actually didn't write a label on it, so I don't know how long it's been growing, but it already has a sprout, and you can even see the roots growing down, and this string is helping bring the water up to the roots. So good luck gardening over the summer, and know that the Peabody Garden will be waiting for you when you get back.